Them lies, but you gotta make it, cause you gotta preach it, that's every time.
Yo guys, Sidok here, coming at you with a quick tutorial, or not so much quick, but more long-winded tutorial on how you can get a Nintendo Switch emulator on the PC in 2024. I feel like I'm going down with something, but I doubt it because I don't feel ill. But I'm just going to make sure I've got everything in the right place. Let's just minimise that for now. There's a bunch of things you're going to need, but to start with you're going to need these two particular files specifically for the emulator itself, and I will mention the rest of the things you will need as and when I get to certain points. And on top of that, everything you need is in my Discord. There's a full written guide in there as well if anyone gets stuck. So it will make it simple for you guys to understand, but I thought I'd do the video side of it as well, just to cover all bases. The first things first, you would need this emulator right here, which again, I have a link, or there will be a link in the description for you guys, for you to download it. Obviously, I've got all this set up, and I will admit it took absolute days upon days to even do it. So obviously I've got mine here. You go to publish, and then obviously run it. Now naturally I've got all mine set up, so when you first boot this for the first time, it will pop up with a little error saying that you're a guest, you don't have the firmware set up, because you need to have a form of mimicked firmware for the Switch. Which is where this little doozy comes in, because the firmware is separate, but you basically need this for the license key. So let's see if I can remember where you go. So you go to app data, like so, then local. Talking, yeah. Lights are going off. Where was I? So you're then looking for this little dude there, which, if I'm right, it should be in local. Apologies if I've got it wrong. We're in the wrong place. Let's do it with the real quick. Apologies, because yeah. Right, there we are. So you'd have to go. Let's just go back. So you go to your of the app data, roaming, and then you would excuse me. You'd go to the emulator. Now you then from here need to go into system, which is where this particular file gets dropped. So what I'm going to do is minimize that. I'm going to just put that there. So we're going to open this. There's two particular files here. One is for the product key for what would be equivalent to the console itself, to register that there's a console license attached to this emulator. And the other one is for the titles, which is basically your Switch games. So it basically then applies the fact that there's a form of license on the emulator to actually run the games in the first place. Then as you can see here, all you do is drag and drop. And it's as simple as that, and that is all you need to do in regards the emulator. Once you've done that, you will then need to, I'm going to do it as well, even though I've already done mine, you would naturally need to close it and reopen it. Now there's a good chance when you've done that it will prompt you with an error for a particular lack of firmware, which is the bit I'm going to get into, and it's also the bit I can't actually tell you where you'd get it from because it relies on you downloading all these games. Now there's two versions of Switch ROM you can get. One is NSP, which is right here, and then the other is the XCI. Now NSPs are a lot easier to download and a lot more common, but there's more files. You could get the game the NSP version, but you could have like a bunch of DLCs and updates on top of that. Whereas the XCI is literally just the one file with everything already pre-built in, so the file size will naturally be bigger in the longevity, but it's already set up. Now obviously I've got mine set up, so it's not going to show both, but what you need to do is go from the emulator, as you can see where my mouse is, and go to tools, install firmware from XCI or zip. As you can see, this is where the game comes into play. You would need an XCI form of game of some sort. which you would then click on and click open. I'm just going to click on that because now I've not used that. It may pop up saying that the firmware is installed, it might not. Okay, now let's give it all. There we go. So even though I've already got this set up, as you can see, this is version 7.1. I've already got it. As you can see, this will replace with content. So obviously I'm going to just click no, as I do already have that set up, and it is the same version. The 1.17.01 is the latest. There is a 1.18.01, but it is still in beta. It is yet to be finalized and released publicly. But then that is how you get the firmware for that. Now, in terms of your games, which again, for legal reasons, I'm not going to mention where you get them from. However, if you ask me in a certain particular Discord location, I may or may not tell you. But in regards to the games yourself, okay, right, you've got all that set up. You've got one set up where you've got the firmware. Okay, so how do I add the games? You would need to go to, where are you? No. Oh, where you got? All the thing is because I've already got mine set up, I can't remember what it is. But anyway, you'd have somewhere on your options, maybe settings. There you go. Look at that. So you go to options. I'm just gonna come back out so you can see that. So you go to options, settings. Now as you can see, you've got a general option right here. Now it says game directories, which is where your games will be. Obviously, I've got mine set up. You will not have one of these when you are setting it up for the first time. You will click add like so. You will choose your location of where your games are. So I'm just gonna rinse and repeat the process. So obviously I'm going to D, then emulated ROMs, and then as you can see, Nintendo Switch ROMs, and obviously naturally it's going to say select folder because there's nothing else in there. And once that's done, it will scan and make sure that everything is scanned by the emulator and reads. Now bear in mind, sometimes it does bug out a little bit when you're first doing this. So sometimes if it doesn't quite read all the games, just a simple close and reopen the emulator fixes the problem. Now if there's a couple of these games, I will pre-warn you, it is a little on the slow, considering it is an emulator in early days. Obviously, if you still have an issue with closing and rebooting the emulator, just click the little refresh button in the bottom left. It will update your games. And in any further instance of, say if you've got 10 games, you've found another 5 where you'd like to add to your list on your emulator, all you need to do is make sure they're in the same directory of the emulator, on the already existing game directory where you've already got games, and then all you need to do is click the refresh button and it will update itself. I could just click it right now. However, it's not going to do anything because as you can see, I've not got anything changed, but it's acknowledging, as you can see at the bottom, that things are, it's scanning for updates or new games to add. It's as simple as that, guys. Like I say, it's simple. It took me forever, but I'm trying to make it as simple as possible for you guys. But nonetheless, there is a full description, a written description in my Discord server if you need it. The links for the emulators themselves will be in my Discord server if you guys need to download them. If you need to know where to get ROMs, I'm not going to put it through YouTube. I might have other means of doing so, but I'm not going to publicly state what they are. You will just have to find me and ask me, ideally on Discord or Twitter. And I will give you a few suggestions on places I've come across from website wise where you can potentially get those. But nonetheless, I do hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to smash the like button and subscribe if you found this useful, guys. And as always, I will see you in the next video, guys. And until then, peace.